Welcome, everybody, to our LinkedIn live stream. My name is Gerhard Schwartner. I'm the founder and publisher of Selling Power Magazine. And joining me today is none other than Michael Aronowitz. He is Senior Vice President of Growth with VXI and one of the leading companies in the field that helps sales leaders become more productive. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon.
So there is a theme that is often neglected in sales organizations where they focus only on revenue growth and often neglect customer retention. Give us the big picture.
So many companies spend a majority of the time acquiring new customers because that's how businesses grow and thrive. You're always looking at year over year sales. How much did you grow this quarter? How many new customers? How many new products did you sell your customers? But the reality is that we forget that as hard as it is to acquire a new customer, it's even harder to keep them and keep them happy. And so businesses today must have a winning retention strategy. And if you don't, with so many tools out there, the click to cancel and other ways of doing cancellations, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. And on the other hand, when you think about the ROI on retaining a customer for another year, it can be 5 times more effective than acquiring a new one.
Yeah, if you have a subscription model and your average customer base is 24 months, you want to extend that to 36 or 37. So what are you doing to make sure that additional revenue is coming through the top of the funnel, not going right out the bottom?
So let's talk about the hidden cost of churn. Should sales leaders measure that, and what should they look at?
Well, the hidden cost of churn is all the money you spend on the front end acquiring that customer. So when you do your finances and your CFOs are looking at, here's my cost per acquisition. Let's just say it's $125 to acquire a new customer. The longer you keep them or the more they buy from you lowers that cost per acquisition, hence allows you more marketing dollars to go out and get new customers. And so churn affects both sides, right? Your existing customer base and your marketing budget. And so again, what's your retention strategy to keep these customers? Is it a customer service issue? Was it a shipping issue? Was it a billing, a tech support? You really have to look at the why behind why you're losing your customer and why they don't want your services anymore.
So your solution uses AI to sort of detect early warning signals. Can you tell us about that?
So there's so many tools out there. When you look at the way that my industry is set up in outsourcing, you have the people, the process, the tools, and the technology. So we have the people and we have a process. But what I say to companies all the time is, what are the tools you're using and what technology to understand why your customer may cancel, why they may churn out? How many customer services interaction have they had in the last 3, 7, or 12 days? How many hours of usage did they use your products? And so having reports, automated reports and data to look at all these different kind of KPIs will give you predictability on churn.
That's really interesting. So how is that information served? Is that something where you ping the salesperson or the sales leader, or do they have to hunt for it?
Well, it starts on, churn usually starts in your customer service department, your CX. And so if there's an interaction, was that interaction solved or is it open? But the reality is this: on every customer service interaction, if you could upsell or cross-sell a product, you've solved the retention issue. Because now you have a happy customer who's buying another one of your services or products,
right,
and won't churn. And so that's why it's really important on all interactions to upsell and cross-sell, regardless of the situation.
Right.
Right? People go, oh, the customer is really angry. But if you have the right product at the right time in front of a consumer, you're going to have a happy customer.
So what is your recommended strategy? Let's say you lose a customer. You don't want to drop the ball. You want to transform that into an opportunity for winning back that customer. So what would be good strategy?
So there's retention strategies and there's win back strategies.
Right.
So win back is really difficult when you look at it. And so if you're going to create a win back team, the first part of that is understanding that if it's an outbound interaction, do you have the right personas for that person to do that? Because if you don't have the right seller doing win back, you're not going to be successful. Because, let's be honest, you can get 20 phone calls a day. How many are you going to answer those if you don't know the number? Yeah. And even if it comes caller ID and it's an existing company that you worked with, are you going to answer it? And so it starts with hiring the right profile, then giving that individual the right training, having the right leadership, having the right CRM, having the right knowledge base. That's where AI tools come in. So helping the agent immediately find opportunities when they get that consumer, on the line. And so it goes back to what I said earlier, the people, process, tools, and technology. But if you're going to go down the win back team, make sure that you're using a company that has done this before. What I've seen in the past is a lot of individuals go, yeah, let's just strum up 5 or 10 people. Let's give them some data and see if they can go win back the customer. That's like making me the point guard of the New York Knicks. I can't shoot. I'm a chucker. Right? And so you really have to put a strategy behind retention, win back, upselling, cross-selling, and the successes that come from that behind it.
So what you're saying is that you need a strategy, and you actually developed a checklist for win back, a retention and win back checklist, which will hand out on I need to mention that on Tuesday, April 29th, we'll run a webinar where Michael is going to share not only his insights into winning back customers and retaining customers, but also every attendee gets a retention and win back checklist, how to keep customers engaged and bring back the lost ones.
I mean, what's really important in the life cycle, and we talked about it earlier, is, what data are you using to have that conversation on a win back? If you're just calling on a whim and get the customer on the phone, your propensity to close that deal is very low. But if you're understanding the data, why did the consumer leave? How long were they a customer? Were they a customer for 39 months and then they left? And this is your first interaction? So again, your win-back strategy has certain aspects of it. Excuse me. But your retention strategy must have a component of cross-selling and upselling, because that's going to solidify them staying.
Right. So can you share a recent success story?
Well, a recent success story is VXI as an organization just won 4 Gold Stevie Awards.
Wow.
In sales and customer service. And, working closely with our clients, we develop strategies behind everything we just said. And so to me, that's my most recent celebration or wins. It's not 1, not 2, but 3 Gold Stevie Awards. It says as an organization who we are and what we can do. In the win-back side, we work with a couple of different companies, and we're always number 1. Not in terms of dials or connections, but in conversions. And that's what truly matters. You can connect to 1,000 people today with a 1% closing. So I dialed a lot, right? Let's measure that we connected to 1,000 people, but we won back 6%, and understand the why we won back 6%.
Right.
And that's what we talked about earlier, right? The people, process, tools, and technology. Now, we're not just fat finger dialing and try to get you on the phone and win you back.
Right.
Do the research of, why we're calling them. And then again, what's the reason for them to come back? Give me a good solidified story of why they're going to come back. Because you're going to have to, on a win back, overcome the reason why they left.
Yeah.
To give them a good reason to come back.
It's a double sale.
And so, again, was it a customer service issue? Was it a billing issue? There's many different factors. And so you have to make sure that win back agent is a seller. I use that word lightly, but you need a seller on win back.
Yeah. So when it comes to outsourcing, and you're well known for that, what do you say to people, sales leaders or CROs, that are sort of on the fence? Should I do it inside or should I outsource?
It's another one of those great questions. And not every company can outsource. Some companies need to do it themselves. Size and scope and location. But just like anything else, in life, you want to go to an expert. And when you outsource, you're going to people who are doing this for a multitude of clients that are successful in something that you're trying to do. And so if you've been trying to do retention and win back and it's not working, the next step is to go to someone who's an expert like us. At VXI, we're an expert in retention and win-back strategies. It may not be right, but you definitely want to give it a chance to see if it's not working for you. It's really hard to run your own sales team, run your own marketing department, run your own customer service, run all these teams, and then focus on growing your business. And the reason why people outsource is because it helps them focus on what they do best. And these are things that outsourcers do best: retention, win back, customer acquisition. That's why so many companies do it.
Well, I want to compare it to dentistry. You can have your teeth cleaned with one dentist, but if you need something special like a root canal, you need to go to the specialist.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really wants to go to get a root canal, but I understand your analogy.
But I think that retention is a root canal problem.
It is. And so do you get a root canal with a crown, right? So
exactly.
There's so many successful stories about, over the years, I've worked with companies who never outsourced before, who now outsource and can't imagine going back, right? Because, again, we just don't have one trainer. We have a multitude of trainers. We have a recruiting department. We have a data department. We have a CX department. We have all the things tools that you need to make your business successful.
Right. So what is your ideal customer? How big a customer is sort of in your sweet spot?
There's really no answer to that. The question is, every company, if you're looking at this from a FTE standpoint, I don't look at it that way. I look at it, how much revenue can we grow? My tagline has been, over the years, I can do three things for you. I can lower your cost per acquisition, I can drive more revenue per interaction, and create a higher lifetime value. So let's not put a number or a size on that. Let's sit down and see if we can help you.
Yeah.
Obviously, if there's two people, it's not going to be right for outsourcing. But the question is, are you losing thousands, hundreds of thousands, or $1 million a year on lost customers? Let's put a value on that number.
Yeah. I think that's a good starting point. Do you walk your clients through sort of a customer retention effectiveness audit?
Well, the first thing we want to do is sit down with a customer and understand their strategy. And is their strategy, again, just throwing darts against the wall? Let me call up previous customers, see if they want to come back to us. It's not a strategy. If their strategy is offer them a free month or offer them a free promotion, or that doesn't work either. There's no value in free. I learned early on that free just means they're going to stay for another month and then they're going to leave. You know, we know the stories of how many times we've called X amount of companies and you get ready to leave and they go, okay, we'll give you a free month. There's no value there. So let's understand why. And that's why I always go back to cross-selling and upselling. Like, let's make them happy and let's have them invest in the different products that we sell. So that's where my starting point is, strategy.
I think you practically could write a book about this topic.
I gotta be honest, one day I'm gonna write a book about all the different things that I have found in this industry. And it's gonna be an entertaining book. You know, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but there's a lot of companies that are very arrogant and they want to do it by themselves and they want to do it their way. And then you come across a company like mine. Like I said, I went to the Stevie Awards 2 weeks ago, and there's, 50 companies in the same industry doing things. Some do it themselves and some outsourcers. So that's why it's not for everybody. But when you sit in the room and you realize that there's great companies out there that can help you grow your business, why not try outsourcing?
Absolutely. Let's talk about the webinar. What will you present in the webinar? And what's the takeaway for people?
The takeaway is learn how to do a retention and win back strategies the right way. Learn from some case studies and experts or things I found over the years. If you want to learn how to make your business better and you want to try it yourself, there'll be some strategies in there to do it yourself, and there'll be some strategies on outbound. But, retention in 2025 is not the same that it was in 5 years ago. Same thing with, win backs. It's not the same. Right. It's really hard to communicate with customers. So again, you're going to learn about what's your strategy, how to communicate with your customers. Is it email? Is it SMS? Is it WhatsApp? Is it
right.
What venue do you use? So you learn a lot from the webinar, and you can ask questions.
Well, I think that I want to put it in the terms that you were using earlier, is if you attend the webinar, you will learn how your people can get better with that. Secondly, you will learn what processes work and what processes don't work. And also, thirdly, the technology that you're using, a lot of people are going to battle with inadequate weapons. And AI is the new super weapon. And AI can give you a much more nuanced view of the challenges that you are not addressing in the correct way. And also it will show you the opportunities that are out there that you can cash in if you have the right strategy.
You hit all the talking points. I commend you.
Thank you. Please click on the link below that we will publish and join us on April 29th at 12:30. And I hope, Michael, that you will write the book, because it will be a fun book to read.
It's on the bucket list, but it takes time to write a book. And I've been, traveling the globe doing and launching programs. I love my job. I love the people I work with. And then one day I'll share a book.
We look forward to